So I thought I would sit down and talk about dreams, visitation dreams, mediumship within dreams, lucid dreams, the astral realms, anything within that realm. I am so big on dreams. I actually keep a dream journal. I keep many dream journals. I don't really know, I don't necessarily have a specific plan. I just this is a passion of mine and I've never fully sat down and talked about it before. Dreams are dream and dream work, like psychic dreams, lucid dreams, anything within that realm is a passion of mine, and I've not really sat down to talk about it before. So that's why I'm here. This is my journal. This is more than just a dream journal. This is kind of like a journal that encompasses a lot of things. It's so weird to see black in my ear. I love it so much. I never thought I'd get a face tattoo. I technically only consider this an ear tattoo, but my tattoo artist was like, it is a face tattoo technically, and I was like, oh shit. Anyways, enough about the tattoos. So there's not going to be any structure in this story time or this video. I'm just gonna sit here and chat. I have always dreamed. I've always had vivid dreams. I've always there's so many vivid recurring dreams that I had as a child that are permanently embedded in my memory. Like an old TV, when you have it on one screen for too long, the logo of the show you're watching kind of becomes permanently embedded in the TV. That's what my dreams are like, but in my brain. I don't know if that makes sense. I've always felt connected to my dreams. I've always loved dreaming, but I think somewhere along the way, dreams weren't as intense or important to me per se. And I remember when COVID hit, I got into spirituality, and I remember I went to this store and I bought this one crystal. It's a labradorite heart about this big, like the size of my palm, for $10, which is ridiculously cheap for labradorite, especially that size. Labradorite, if you believe in crystals, it's supposed to enhance your psychic abilities or your connection to the other side, and it's also a crystal that supposedly helps with psychic dreams and enhancing your dreams and whatnot. It's this labradorite. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I have worked in a crystal shop. I still don't know if I'm saying it right, but just you can't really even see the flash. There you go. You can kind of see the flash. Anyways, this whole thing was $10, which for a piece of labradorite this size is insanely cheap, and that's why I bought it. And the first night that I went and I slept with that in my bed, I actually had a really intense nightmare, which is not uncommon when you start doing lucid dreaming or dream work. The first time you lucid dream and you realize you're lucid in a dream and you try and take control of the dream, things can go awry really fast, which is something I'll get into. And that's kind of what happened the first time I did dream work with this crystal. I just had a really weird, horrible sleep paralysis episode / nightmare. Was not fun. But the second time that I slept with this, bam, lucid dream. And every single, I have had crazy dreams ever since I bought this crystal. And I have just had crazy, vivid, lucid, intense dreams since, to the point where I'll wake up and I'll text my friend, or I'll text my mom, or I'll go upstairs and I'll talk to my mom and I'll say to my friends or my family, I had a weird dream, and they'll be like, what else is new? Everybody knows me for having weird, psychic, vivid dreams, and that's something that I absolutely love. I love dream work so much. I'm not super educated in it, but I have a collection of dream dictionary books, dream interpretation books, the psychic meanings of dreams. It's a special interest of mine that I actually don't really talk about a lot. It's a very subtle special interest of mine. Anyways, I just thought I'd talk about it. And God, the first lucid dream I ever had was actually in 2020. I'm trying to think. The late summer of 2020, I got an apartment with one of my old friends from high school. And the first night in our apartment, me and my roommate and a couple of our friends had some beer, and we just kind of celebrated the fact that we had an apartment. We unrolled my mattress and we slept on it, and that was the first lucid dream that I ever remember having. And essentially I was in this in the dream, I was in this extremely fancy grocery store, and I was like standing in line at this cafe that was in this grocery store. And in the dream, I was waiting in line to get this cup of coffee within this super fancy grocery store. And the barista was like this old man. He was really tall, really lanky, and just looked old. I don't know how else to explain that. And I went up to him, and I remember I tried to order a coffee from him. I don't remember what. It was like a double or something, which is a Canadian way of saying 2 cream, 2 sugar. And he looked at me and he was like, "You realize you're dreaming, right?" And I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "I don't know you." This creepy old man. I was like, "I don't know this old man. I don't know why he's approaching me in public. I don't know why he's talking to me and why he's telling me I'm dreaming." I was dreaming. Still have no clue who this guy is. I was dreaming though, but he looked at me and he was like, "You're dreaming." Like, he was like, "Why are you ordering a coffee? Like, you're dreaming. You could be doing anything right now." Like, it was really weird. I remember I walked away from the cafe. I didn't get a coffee in the dream because I was like, "What the fuck is this creep doing?" And I like walked around, and I was walking around the grocery store, and then I saw a guy that's in the dream, and I looked at him and I was like, "What the fuck is this guy doing here?" And then I like turned around and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm dreaming." And the first thing my brain thought to do when I realized I was dreaming was to start flying and levitating. And so I closed my eyes and I was like, if I'm really dreaming, I will levitate right now. And I started levitating, and then I started flying around this grocery store, and I was like, holy shit, this is so cool. Like, I am dreaming. And yeah, that was my first lucid dream, and it quickly turned into a zombie apocalypse dream, which I had no control over. And the whole time I knew I was lucid, I knew I was dreaming, but I was like still running from these zombies because some part of my brain still thought I was like actually at risk of dying from these zombies. And that's the thing about lucid dreams, is they can go awry really fast and you can lose control of them really fast. Like, there's this one dream where it was a couple months after my big brother's funeral, and the dream was at the center where his funeral happened, like the funeral home, I guess is what it's called. And I remember I was waiting to go into the funeral, and this girl from my high school, and I was like, "What are you doing here?" And she was like, "What do you mean?" And then other people started showing up, and I was like, "Why are all of you at my brother's funeral?" I was like, "This is very odd. This is not like, this doesn't feel real." And then I remember watching this TikTok a couple months prior to having this dream, where someone said, you can tell if you're dreaming by looking at your hands, because your hands will always look off. And you can train yourself to lucid dream by doing this. Like, when you're awake and in real life, you could look at your hands and be like, I am not dreaming, I am awake. Like, and so my brain had thought of that tactic, and I was talking to this girl that I used to be friends with, and I was like, okay, something here is fishy. I'm gonna look at my hands and see if I'm dreaming. And I remember I looked at my hands and they just did not look right. I don't remember specifically why they looked off or like what looked off about them, but I remember being like, something is weird about my hands. And then I was like, okay, I'm dreaming. And at the time, reality shifting was going viral on TikTok, so my subconscious was like, let's take this opportunity, because this is called the lucid dreaming method within shifting realities. My brain was like, okay, I'm gonna do the lucid dream method to shift realities, which is essentially you Doctor Strange a portal in your dream and you step through into your desired reality. And at the time, my desired reality was to be in the Avengers compound. So middle of my brother's funeral, I Doctor Strange a portal, and I envision the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I step through the portal, and I feel like I'm shifting realities. Like, I feel like I'm fucking going through the timelines. I cannot explain what it feels like. It felt like my body, if you've ever astral projected, or if you've ever shifted realities, you know what it's like to have that feeling of like you leaving your body. It felt like that. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I felt like I was going through space and time. Like, my whole body was fuzzy. It was like vibrating, but it like, I didn't feel like I had a body. It's really hard to explain. And I was like, yes, I'm going and I'm shifting realities. And something went wrong and it turned into a nightmare very fast, and I like had no control over the dream. And that has taken I've had a couple experiences like that where lucid dreams have gone awry and they have kind of gone like out of control and turned into night terrors, nightmares, like some really bad ones. And that's kind of the thing with dream work. It's yin and yang. Like, you're gonna have some good experiences and you're gonna have some not so good experiences. Anyways, and last night, the reason why this is so fresh on my mind is because I had a lucid dream last night, a very weird one. A general description of it would be, there's this person that I never really dated, but I like had a very tumultuous connection with. Sometimes they'll come up in my dreams every once in a while, which is normal when you've experienced a connection with someone. Your brain is gonna think about it. That's kind of inevitable, especially because the younger version of me had such strong feelings for this person. And basically I had a dream where this person from my past came in to my dream, and we sat down and we just had a heart-to-heart with each other. And I explained like, hey, you hurt me, you did these things and it made me feel this way, and this is why I did things this way. And they essentially were like, this is why I did or didn't do these things, and I'm sorry. And it was like a heart-to-heart. On some level, maybe it was my subconscious like processing these things, but it was just a very weird dream. And halfway through the dream, I did gain a little bit of lucidity. I was like, let's invite in my spirit team. I was like, I want to talk to my spirit guides about our connection. Not because I want to have one with you going into the future, but I know I'm having this dream for a reason. Like, on some level, I was lucid. On some level, I knew I was dreaming. And so I was like, while this conversation that we're having is beneficial and it's good right now, I kind of want to bring my spirit guides in and my loved ones and my ancestors in, because I want to have their input. And I remember I called my guides in, and I was sitting across from this person. My spirit guides come in, and it's this woman who I have known is a guide of mine for a while. So this female spirit guide of mine comes in, and she for some reason shows me what my future would have looked like with this person. And I don't know why spirit wanted to show me that, because it's very irrelevant, but they were showing it to me for a reason. And they had showed me like this future with this person where we had kids together and where we had started a family together. And I remember in the dream, I was like, I don't want this, but it was so weird because I was being shown like children of mine that I'll never meet and that I'll never have, but like in some alternate reality I did have with this ex of mine. It was so weird, like so cathartic, and I don't even know how to explain it. It was so weird. And I remember in the dream I was so distraught because I was like looking at my daughter and my son that I would have had with this person, but I never get to meet those children. Like I'll never get to meet those children. So it was weird because it's like, these are your kids, but they're not. And I remember I woke up at 6 a.m. and I had written everything that I remembered down from my dream in my phone though, because I wanted to go back to bed, so it was nice and fast. I texted it to my friends, and then I passed out. And then I passed in the dream when I was asleep again. I gained lucidity, and I was like, I need to call this person from my past back in because I feel like we need to finish this conversation. Some part of me subconsciously still wanted to talk to this person and like still wanted to get the closure for the situation. And I remember I closed my eyes in the dream and I called my ex in, like my ex's energy, and my brother came in. And my brother was like, you need to stop. My brother was like, stop it. You do not need to talk to this person. Like, don't call this person's energy back. He was like, if their energy is pulling you, you need to ignore it. He was like, you're better than them. You need to like move on. You're growing, you're healing. And if you call this person's energy back in, you're just kind of like going backwards in your journey. And in the dream with my brother, like we just sat there and we talked and I asked him questions. I don't remember anything that we talked about, and I typically don't when I have visitation dreams. There's been like very few dreams with my brother after his passing that have happened where he's told me things about the other side and what it's like to die and stuff that I do remember. And there's a handful of dreams where I remember the dream and he told me a shit ton of stuff about the other side and what it's like to be a spirit. And then as soon as I woke up, that information was gone because you're not meant to know that yet. If there's one takeaway to what I'm talking about, visitation dreams are real. So if you have people that you've lost, like loved ones, whether they're human or animals, they're real. Like, that is your loved one visiting you. Don't doubt that for a second. They have full control whether they want to come and visit us in our dreams. So that's one thing I want you to take away from this video, is visitation dreams are real. And if you are lucid and you call in your loved one, that is your loved one. Like, that, don't doubt that for a second, because it is so real and so beautiful. And I just love dream work so much. Like, I love dreaming. When I do have dreams like this, they mean the world to me. Like, they really hit me, because it's like, they're not rare for me now, but they don't happen every night. Whereas for the past 3 years, they happened every night. Like, if I wish I kept a dream journal for those years, but I didn't. And I do want to start recording them again. It's just so time consuming to write it all down. If you know, you know. Dream work is so beautiful. And if you want to get into lucid dreaming or get into having more vivid dreams or more psychic dreams, keeping a dream journal, and it doesn't have to be physical. You can keep it in your notes app on your phone, Google Docs, Google Keep. If there's journal apps, you can do that as well, or you can do physical. The only downside to physical is that it's time consuming, but time passes anyways, right? So you might as well. And in my opinion, it's a lot more rewarding to keep it as a physical journal, because you get to go back and you get to read your dreams. I have pages and pages full. If you want to like start practicing lucid dreaming or dream work, keeping a dream journal is probably the best thing you can do. Lucid dreaming also, there's so many ways you can get into lucid dreaming. One thing you could do is the hands trick that I was talking about. Just multiple times throughout the day, look at your hands, take note of what they look like, and remind yourself that you're awake. And it starts to train your subconscious to keep looking at your hands. Like, it becomes a habitual thing. Is that a word? You get what I'm saying. To the point where your brain will start to do that in your dreams. And I've accidentally gone into a lucid state of dreaming multiple times because of that. I had this friend in high school. He was huge with lucid dreaming, and he would do this method where you wake up at 5 a.m., you quickly get up, stand up, you can go pee, but don't like wake your body up. Like, you want to be awake, but not awake enough where you're kicking yourself out of the REM cycle. Like, you still want your body to be asleep, if that makes sense. So you could also stay in bed, but what he would do is he would wake up, stand up, go back in bed, and then he would slowly try and go to sleep, and he would start wiggling his fingers. He would start wiggling his fingers, and then he'd fall asleep. And he set a timer at like 4 a.m. to do this. And he said without fail, it would make him lucid dream every time. I haven't had that much success, but different things work for different people. And when you gain lucidity in a dream, you can do anything. Like, I've flown in dreams, I have teleported places, I have created time travel necklaces in a lucid dream, I've called in dead loved ones, I've called in people from my past, I've gone into the astral realm and like talked to my spirit guides. Ooh, one dream. I remember I was in this bathroom in a dream, and it was beautiful. It had like this emerald green tiling all around. And I remember I was sitting in this bathroom, and I was like, when I move out of my parents' house, I want my bathroom to look like this. Like, in the dream, I was like, this is beautiful, and I want this bathroom. And then I was like, whoa, where even am I? I was like, what the fuck is this? And I realized I was dreaming. I think I realized I was dreaming because I went to go make a TikTok or something, or take a selfie in the bathroom, and so I was like putting my hair up in a bun while looking in the bathroom mirror, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know, something clicked in my brain, and I was like, I'm dreaming, like, this isn't real. And I was like, okay, what do I want to do with this lucid dream? And I decided to call on my spirit guide, and then I specifically was like, I want my big brother and my father to come through. And I felt them on the other side of the bathroom door. Like, as soon as I finished that mantra or that invocation, I knew that my spirit team and my loved ones were on the other side of the door. And I put my hand on the doorknob, and I was so scared, not because I knew there'd be anything scary on the other side, but just because it's like, holy shit, you know, I'm gonna be seeing my spirit guides. And I opened the door, and immediately, like, it was so weird but so beautiful. Like, there was like my brother, my dad, my grandfather, the three of them were on one side, and there was 4 or 5, maybe 6 guides on the other side, but they did not look human. If you've ever seen a shadow person, I'm gonna put a picture up just to kind of show you. Trigger warning, shadow people, so just skip ahead a couple seconds if that's triggering. They looked like this, which I have seen these in real life. They're scary in real life, but in the dream they weren't. In the dream I knew that they were my spirit guides and my loved ones, and I wasn't afraid of them, and I didn't really second guess it. And this one of the shadow spirits stepped forward to me, and they didn't talk to me, they didn't look like anyone I knew. They literally just looked like a blob, like they looked like a shadow, and they wrapped their arms around me, and I just knew it was my big brother. I just knew it was my brother. I didn't even question it, and I hugged him, and I was like, I was kind of questioning. I was like, why do you look like that? Like, why wouldn't you show yourself to me? I need to stop touching my tattoo. I was like, why would you show yourself to me as this and not your body, or like what you looked like when I knew you? And he was like, because we don't look like that on the other side. He was like, we look like this on the other side. Like, we don't even look like anything on the other side. We're just energy. So that was, I don't know, just how they chose to show themselves to me. And I could get into that dream more later, but I talked to my brother, I talked to my dad, didn't really talk to my grandpa. My spirit guides were there, but they were very quiet. They were just kind of letting me have my time with my brother. Yeah, like, it's so, you could do anything with these dreams. I love dreaming so much. I love dream work. I love it. They're so cool. And keeping a dream journal and being able to go back and like reference the dreams, or like just read them, or I don't know. It's just so nice to have a record of them, and I highly recommend it. But essentially I have had, and this is not a positive experience per se, kind of cool, but also kind of not, but I have had many dreams come true, and they're always not so good. Like, my father passed away January 9th, 2024, and November 8th, 2023, I was on a cruise with my family. I was on vacation, and I had a dream that I was in my room here, this room here, and I was sick in bed because I was still sick at the time. Like, I wasn't better. I wasn't diagnosed with Addison's yet. I fell asleep on the cruise ship, and in the dream, I woke up on my bed, and I was sick in bed, and I was nauseous, and I was like holding my stomach, and I heard a knock on my door in my dream, and I told whoever they were to come in, and this woman walked into my room, and behind her there was like this very like bright orange glowing light, and she walked into my room, and she was so beautiful. Sorry, my bangs are not banging right now. She was so beautiful. Like, she looked like a goddess. She looked like a deity. She looked like she was not of the human realm, or the human species. And she walked in, and she had these like antlers almost, like Lilith, or like if Kernanos was a woman. I don't know how to explain it. She was just like very breathtaking. And she came up to me, and she was like, your dad is gonna die soon. She was like, your dad is going to die. Your dad is gonna die, is literally all she said. And she walked out before I could ask any questions. And I remember I woke up on the cruise ship in real life as soon as she left my room in my dream. And 2 months and 1 day later, I got the news that my father had passed away in a fire, which is just crazy because she had like the bright orange light behind her. It was just crazy. Like, I've had premonition dreams of my grandma passing away, and she did. Very crazy, my experience with the dream world, and as cathartic and bittersweet as it all has been, I wouldn't change any of it for a second. Like, it's just a crazy experience. I love that my psychic abilities show up in the dream world, in the dreamland, and I can't wait for the future dreams that I have, and the future premonition dreams that I have. I love dreams so much. I don't know. I don't even know like what else to say. That's the video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you have cool dreams, and yeah. That felt like I was ending the video very fast. I just don't know what else to say, and this video is going to be an hour long if I keep talking, which I could, but I'm not going to. So, catch you on the flippity flip.